Oh my god, my god. You guys don't care about this. Okay. That's fine. You guys don't care about that. I know you want to see the mini map, so let's. Yeah, there's a better place for that, I'm sure. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna talk about the comps for a second. So I really vehemently dislike this draft from AED. It's a really weird one. Immediate ban. Good job, Nightbot. Way to go, Nightbot. All right, hold on. What's up, Cat? Okay. Let's turn the music down too. Oh no, I gotta unpause it because it's got stuck on this audio sound. So anyway, let's talk about the comps. So AED's draft, they banned a couple of mid laners and they first picked the Orianna. And I think they went Kate Ornn after that, which was a little bit weird. First picking Orianna's, it seems okay because Quaker is known as like a big Orianna player, but there's obviously a lot of stuff you can play into Orianna now. And it kind of telegraphs how you want to play the game, which is that like you want to team fight and things. Caitlyn early pick is not like as good as it was before she got nerfed. Like obviously she's still strong, still very good, things like that, but she's not like as insane as she was. And when you pick something like Caitlyn Lux, you kind of say to yourself like, it's very important. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but you have to play the game in a certain way, right? It's not as blindable as it was before. It's not good in everything now. Kate is obviously good. She's probably still the best AD carry in the game. 100% probably still is. So, and one thing about this draft that's really weird is you get... This whole comp now is based around the Kate Lux winning, right? You need to have pressure in Kate Lux because Orianna is your first pick. It's almost certainly going to get counterpicked. It's not going to have lane prio, or if it has lane prio, the other thing is going to be better at something else. They're getting a counterpick mid lane. And then Ornn's a great champion. He enables a lot of other things extremely well, but one thing he doesn't do extremely well is 1v1 your lane and hard carry, right? So you don't realistically have the ability to play through top in this game. And on the other side, you have Ashe Nautilus, which if they get ahead of Kate Lux instantly becomes very hard to play because Ashe is a lot better later in the game, and Nautilus is engaged. If Lux is behind, is very good. You don't have that arm's length of being ranged if you fall behind. So a little bit of a draft issue here. And when you look at this side, Kayn does not have a lot of places to go unless his bot is winning. That's kind of the ideal situation for this comp is... You get your bot lane ahead, and then you start forcing these early fights around Dragon and stuff like that with Ornn coming in and Orianna and Caitlyn controlling space and Kayn being able to engage. Because like Kog'Maw and Mordekaiser don't really want to walk into Dragon fights, like at all. You know, if they're winning the game, they want to be the one first here, and you're having to walk down and there's stuff coming in, right? Yeah, if you go Camille, it's a free game. But yeah, like you need to be ahead on this comp, and we'll kind of see as this goes what happens, because there's something that happens at level 1. So I rewatched this game twice now to make sure I was right. That's okay. That's okay, Spud. So this is like super important. So a lot of people will think something. This is fine. This is good, dude. This is fine on Kayn. You know, just get some damage off. There's nothing bad here. But what it causes, okay, when he shows here. What happens is immediately Nautilus knows he has prio to walk here, right? This is really good. So Nautilus walks in, he gets a ward on this red, and you guys are going to think I'm memeing, but this ward is the single most important part of this game. This right here wins the game for Aneon because of the information that this ward gives and allows them to play with. So they get this ward here, right? So immediately they saw Kayn topside. He's basing. They don't know he's basing. But what they decide is they're going to start Volibear on red and put their bot lane in the lane first. And why that's so important is, like we talked about, Kate Lux needs to get ahead. They need to be the pushing matchup for this comp to work. And if you plant your Ashe Nautilus in bot lane first, what you can do is you get the initial push and take away a little bit of that pressure that's put on you. And you also naturally have your Volibear pathing down from red to blue. So if Kayn starts blue and he wants to come bot and gank from the poke, your Volibear's there to counter gank and keep your lane safe. So we'll watch what happens here, because this is, so that would be the thought process if Kayn was starting top, but Kayn does it. It actually gets doubled down on the punishment because Kayn starts red with a leash. And this is almost double as bad, because now not only, okay, if you are playing this comp, you can't have Caitlyn leash. You cannot have Caitlyn leash. The entire point of this comp is for Caitlyn to be in the lane with Lux, getting the push and applying pressure. If they're here, Ashe is getting a free first push on the first wave. And not only that, they're going to be late here, and you're going to be unable to gank with Kayn to fix this because you started red, and your natural path now, you either level 2 gank or you have to take a really inefficient path to get 3 and gank bot. Yeah, like, see, like, honestly, Kayn should just solo start the race here. They knew this was warded. See, because now, like, okay, he gets this. That's fine. But look at Ashe and Nautilus now. They're not going to be in threat from Kate and Lux at level 1. Like, there's no worry. I don't want directed camera. I just want manual camera. See, like, they get here, but now they can't trade. They can't walk up and harass because the wave's already crashing. And this is smart. So they escort this wave here, and in case your Kayn wanted to level 2 gank, they back off. So there's no chance for Kayn to level 2 gank. And here's why this is so important, right? So they've got pressure here. Kayn did red Raptors, and he's pushing, right? So he's going towards top side. But let's look at the lane state that Aneon sets up for themselves with Kayn going here. The mid lane is pushing into Kog'Maw. So it's ungankable. He can't do anything here. And if you look top lane, there's also a wave stacking for Ornn. So Mordekaiser will be ungankable. In like 30 seconds, this wave will be here, and it'll be ungankable. So when Kayn finishes his route, he'll have nowhere to go. He'll have no gank pattern to go to. And his bot lane that's supposed to be winning, he's now on the opposite side of the map, and he can't reset the lane state to fix it. And one thing also, Lux got an extra auto on the red and missed one of the minions. It's going to be hugely important. Because they leashed, Lux does not get level 2 at the same time as Kate. You see right here, immediately, this is the red flag. Because Kate is 2 now and there's still a melee, you know that Lux did not get level 2. You know she's off. So immediately, they're going to get 2. And they're going to go for a fight. Because that's what you have to do. You have level 1 on them. Kate gets caught in the animation. She's forced to heal and run away. Really, like right here, bot lane is over. And what's really bad about this is your win condition. You drafted to have Kate Lux be the winning lane, and your Ori and Ornn support that, and you force fights around the bot side of the map and dragons. Like, that's what the comp does, is it gets a lead in bot lane, and it forces fights around the dragon. But when you fall behind now to Ashe Nautilus, they have so much CC, they can dictate the game now. You're no longer able to just walk at them and dictate the pace of the game. Now they can be first to dragons, and if it's Kate, or if it's Ashe and Nautilus first to dragons, they're able to CC a lot easier. Like, Kate needs to be there first to set up traps, and if she's weaker than Ashe, she can't do that. So the whole purpose of picking Kate is now voided. And if you look like what we said, okay, now you think, okay, bot lane is in a bad state, but maybe Kayn can make a play and reset this on the other side of the map. Well, he can't, because like we said, top lane is now getting ready to be under the tower. So it's impossible for him to make a gank happen here. And look at mid lane. It's the same thing. There's a minion disadvantage here. Kog'Maw is safe. There's no way to gank this. Also, this is really bad for Orianna because the wave is pushing to Kog and she's down in CS. That can happen sometimes, just because you want to push. But this is something like as a team you have to talk about, which is like if you're pathing red side to blue then your mid and top need to be like, okay, I'm going to try and keep the wave to my side so that you have somewhere you could go. Or you say, I'm going to pressure so you can invade. But the problem with that is Volibear didn't start bot side. So there's not a lot of camps to take on the top side of the map, right? You can't just like walk up and take like, okay, I'm going to take Race, I'm going to take Krugs, all this blah, blah, blah. Because he started top side. So we already took those camps. So it's like really rough. Yeah, this game's paused. We're watching a replay. So right now, Kayn is in a really, really bad spot. He's going to go check the Race. They're going to be gone. He's going to have to go take the Krugs, right? So, like, look at that time. Also, yeah, he fails to Q over the wall. That happens. But look how free they get to play now. Now your bot lane gets to shove with immunity because they know Volibear's right here. They know Kayn's not on the bot side of the map because they leashed. And also, there's no way he pathed and is already back bot by now. Perfect for Mordekaiser here. He's just playing under the tower. He's completely safe. Now mid lane, Quagert plays to the bottom side of mid because he knows he has jungle support right below him, and he gets to bounce this wave off, which is really bad for Orianna because she's already down. And you get a really nice ward here. This is a really bad ward. You don't need this ward. This ward is bad. Because this is not going to do anything. These Wraiths are gone anyways. You get a really nice back off on Ashe too. And now this wave's coming back into them. They could freeze it. Like, they could freeze this back here now. Yeah, definitely. So, like, I really think the root problem of this game is Kayn making your bot lane leash. Like, the real issue is you want Kate to be in the lane, and Kayn can start Race solo. He's one of the few champions that can, right? So the idea should be...
Is that a man riding a shrimp?
Thank you, Off and Blackfire, for the follow. There's always opportunities for it, but the problem is your bot lane can't really push out against Ashe Nautilus to get wards for TP flanks, right? So if your bot lane can't get pressure, because obviously Kate Lux cannot walk up to Ashe Nautilus anymore. Well, there's definitely more issues than that, for sure. That's just like a roots, like, I would say the other things that happen are almost symptoms of the root problem, which is like you put yourself in a hole to begin with, right? Because like, unfortunately, like you're on Ornn, you can't play to Ornn, unfortunately. Like this is not a good matchup for you. You know, it's not great. I mean, it's fine. Ornn can play this matchup out and not die and be fine, right? But like, you can only do so much as Ornn, right? And you first picked Orianna, so now that's a counter lane. Like Kog'Maw counters Orianna, so this is a good lane for Kog'Maw. But you picked a priority pick in Kate Lux. In like, okay, we're going to shove in, we're going to harass, we're going to keep them under tower. But that doesn't happen now. And you don't have any real creation because, you know, outside of that. You don't have any way of creating a lot of plays outside of like an Ornn ult. There's not really a good way to make plays now. And they have really good vision. So like they see the Race, they see here, they have the scuttle. It's hard to even do anything on the bot side of the map right now. Unfortunately, their comp is very hard to make plays on also. I'm not pulling you in here. Especially with what you just said. Give us your 2 cents in chat. Give me your 2 cents. That sucks. It's just a missed knockout. It's not much Kayn can do either. He's not transformed or anything. This wave is in a really bad spot for Kate too. Like, this is their chance to harass, but like, they're so behind right now. It's hard. Like, they don't want to walk up too close because they could die. Ignite's gonna come back up on Nautilus. There's no heal on Kate. They do manage to get it to the tower though, which is good. Because it will bounce now. But Volibear's here. Places a pink ward. Good jungler. Coming and placing a pink for his lane. Kog'Maw's just like way ahead. And this game's just gonna snowball off this. Like the Kog'Maw, now that like there's no early action and Kate can't create anything, you're just waiting. Yeah, that's what I think that's a good point. Okay, so let's talk about that as a point, because I do think that's what you have to do, right? That is the second best option, is that you just power farm and try to become a carry yourself, right, as Kane. And you try to say, hey, I can't go bot lane. The lane's messed up. I need to power farm. I need to clear everything. The issue with it is the way Aneon plays out, right? The way they played their solo lanes after that, which is that they froze these lanes in such a way. And even now, like, they know where he is, right? He's mid. Kog'Maw's so safe, because look where this wave was. And he's not really in threat. Even with a gank from him, it's like, he's going to trade half his HP here ganking him. And he could be farming now. Like, he could just be power farming. He could just be farming everything he could. And that's fine. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, that would be a good path. He should have just said, yo, bot's kind of messed up. Let me just power farm to 6 and see what I can do. Because even though you get 3 camps, get you level 3, and Wolves Wraps usually put you at Scuttle soon after response. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, unless you just want me to. I will VOD review your game if you want me to, Loon. I will watch your game and review it. If that's what you want me to do. If you want me to review your game, I'll review it. Yeah, you could do that. That would be fine. Aneon does a really good job strangling Vision out here. No. Can you shoot me the replay? Can you email it to me? Oh, hi, Vega at Gmail. I'm not going to watch this whole game, because really what I wanted to get across in this is the early game. And like how that snowballs, because they get outscaled here. Like, once you get behind in this, it's very hard to win just because of AED's comp. Like, Kog'Maw obviously is going to outscale Orianna. Ashe Nautilus are way more useful later in the game than Kate Lux are. For what they want to do. Obviously, like, if Lux and Kate get ahead, they can be insane. It's 6-item Kate is insane. But I mean more like mid-game. The ability to, when they're ahead, force their lead on Ashe and Nautilus is a little bit easier. I think the draft is fine. I don't think you need to blind pick Orianna. I don't think Orianna's... I think she's really good. I don't know if she's blind pickable. And then I think the draft is fine, but like you have to think about what is the draft trying to do, right? Like, what did you draft it for? You know what I mean? Like, if you take... This draft would be fine if you were like, hey, we want a draft to have Kate Lux be a winning lane. And our goal with this is going to be, we're going to have Kane start his race solo and clear down and try and go for like a level 3 gank. Or clear down, and when we have the pushing bot lane, contest this scuttle and make sure that Kane gets it. Or something like that, right? That would be fine. But it looks like you guys kind of had an idea in your head already of where the jungle should be and that your bot lane leashes. And that's the kind of thing that needs to be adaptable based on picks, right? Because they got a huge advantage off the fact that they were like, we're not going to have our bot lane leash. We're just going to put them in bots so they get the advantage. If you had done the same, if this was just a 2v2 at the wave, you're in a way better spot. Yeah, I mean, there's ways to win early without playing through bot. I think the opposite thing, which Raka suggested, is just have like Kane full clear and then go for like a level 6 fight or something. I think it's just Kate Lux needs to be in lane early. So like you could play in such a way of where Kayn doesn't gank bot early or provide pressure, and he's on the top side of the map, and you try to get the Ornn ahead, and then transfer that lead to like a dragon fight around like 8 or 9 minutes, right? That's possible. Like you could just have him start his race, do his red, clear his top side, get the scuttle, do all this, maybe try a gank top, and then rotate that back to dragon and force a dragon fight. Because really that's what your comp does. Like it fights at dragon exceptionally well. Like Ornn, Orianna, very good. Kayn, very good also. If there's an engagement from Ornn with like the ball, also Kayn can carry. It's really easy to set up those fights, right? You want people on red side coming through these chokes against Lux and Kate. Super good. Yeah, because like Kog'Maw and like Ashe and Nautilus, they want to be the engagers, right? They don't want to be walking through these chokes. And like, if you set up traps and they're having to walk through against Lux, like, even if he dives in, they're having to walk through these spaces. Yeah, like early, it's not like Mordecai's in gankable. He's not 6 yet. So you could make a play there, but your goal should be, the goal with your comp is to get early dragons through because you're better at team fighting, and then translate that into stacking dragons and putting the pressure on them. Because like Kog'Maw wants to scale. Mordekaiser is not insane at early team fights. Yeah, but your bot lane needs to have pressure, really. Yeah, I got the VOD. I did get the VOD. Thank you, Loon. I can't believe Loon's not a sub to me. Yeah, like early game, especially with Lucas's build, because he went the tier build. Your DPS is like all Kate Lux right now. And like Ornn does okay damage early in the game, but he's not going to do much like in a big, like prolonged fight. Your goal, even right now, actually, even though you're like behind in bot lane, the goal should be to get this shoved in and force a fight around this dragon. Because like, honestly, there's not a gold difference yet. I don't like tier Ori either, especially against Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw wants to handshake and scale. And when you go tier, you're kind of opting into the handshake and scale game, which is what Kog'Maw wants to do. Like Orianna in this game should be building for like mid-game team fighting. I think you just go chapter Ludens here, try to shove the Kog'Maw under tower, and then you try and fight at dragons. I think that's what you do. Because like even right now, if this lane gets shoved in, you base and come to dragon, you force a team fight around here. The goal's like even. You could win a team fight right now against this comp, right? Because Asher is good for getting picks. Nautilus is really good for getting picks, right? So instead, you force them to walk through these chokes against like Orianna, Ornn, Lux, Caitlyn traps, and there's so much area here for Kayn to make plays, right? It's so good. That's what your comp excels at. And if you get an early dragon, then you start putting that pressure on the Kog'Maw comp to have to reach. It's like, hey, we can't let them start stacking dragons against us. It's just playing to where you are. Like if your goal is to do the dragons, Kayn just needs to be in these areas at times. So even if Nautilus roams, like if he walks up, let's see. So Nautilus is rolling because Kog'Maw has to get space early in the game, right? Like he needs this space. If Orianna just plays to her jungle side, like, gosh, this could be such a good dragon timing. You don't know Kayn's top. The goal also, that's kind of a symptom of what happened early too. Normally, if Nautilus leaves this lane would have so much pressure on the Ashe that wouldn't be able to happen. But because you're behind, your bot lane is opting to not punish as hard. Yeah, Nautilus is roaming right here, right? But your bot lane's basing. Okay, I got the tower. Good, I was about to be worried. But this is like the times when you want to force dragons, right? When your lane has pressure, that's when you want to do stuff. And part of the reason Nautilus can roam is your bot lane is handshaking here. Does that make sense? Like, Lux can't leave the lane now because it's not safe for Caitlyn because she's behind against Ashe Nautilus. But, like, your bot lane is handshaking. They're saying, hey, you based, we're just going to shove in base. We're not going to threaten anything. And then Nautilus can, in turn, roam for free because he's not losing anything. Usually when a support leaves the lane, it's in exchange for lane pressure or a good back for your AD carry or something like that. And there's some kind of trade-off there. But because they're not applying pressure, he can just go do this for free. There's no worry, right? Which, I mean, realistically, there's not a threat here on Lucas. But this is a good point of what they're doing, what you should be doing. They have the bot lane advantage. So they get the first push, which means they get the priority back, which means they can move their support to Rift Herald. And since they're the first one there. See, now your bot lane is not on the map, and you can't contest this. So your team should be, in turn, saying, hey, they just based here. I saw Nautilus here. When your bot lane pushed in, you should have said, we need to dragon now because their bot lane has based, and we can get there and set up traps. Yeah, we have teleport on Ornn. This is fine. It's just prio. See, like, because your bot lane did not get prio, and they don't have engage because it's Lux, you then have to cede pressure to the bot lane that has prio. And that's why bot lane's so important right now.
Is that a man riding a shrimp?
Lana Plush, hello. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so like, that's why that early game is so important. That's why them having to leash and getting to lane. And I mean, that's not the whole thing. Obviously, Kate got caught and got her heel blown. And that's like a huge part of the lane. But this is a symptom of that, right? Now that the bot lane is ahead, which they're not even like hugely ahead. It's just that when Ashe Nautilus is even with Kate Lux and not being harassed, they're more useful, right? So they get this for free. And the problem here is like, you don't really trade anything. Everybody's just kind of around, right? Handshaking. Ashe gets to solo push bot because like the back timings are off. It's just rough. When your bot lane does not have prio, the game is insanely hard to play. And you can play through other lanes, but the problem is neither of your solo lanes are winning matchups, right? Yeah. Go ahead, Raka. Give us some, drop some info on us. That's a good point too. Also, Lux is not as useful in roams also. Because Nautilus is not only... He has more CC than Lux. The Lux doesn't really have any damage right now. And doesn't have Mobies. She can't get there faster. Or anything. That's why I'm saying... If Nautilus... If their bot lane bases, the goal for Kate Lux should be... We should go to the dragon... You know, you should be calling like, hey, bot lane's basing. We can shove this wave. We can go to the dragon. Yeah, exactly. You want to get an advantage. If they base, you can pressure this. You know, you can say, sure, you go take the Rift Herald, but I'm going to take a plate bot. I'm at least going to get something. I'm going to pressure something. But in Kate's mind, and I'm an AD carry. I know what your thought process is. You're like, I just want to bounce this wave and get a good base off because I'm on BF. But Aneon recognizes that. They're like, okay, we're both on the same base timing, but I have prio. So I'm going to rotate to Rift Herald. And there's no answer. Yeah, exactly. It's not safe for Ashe to stay here and farm. So Not has to pick a thing. Yeah, Lux lands Q, Kate traps. It's a headshot into an E headshot, into a Luxel, into a bunch of stuff, right? It's super good. And then you can also, even if you don't get the kill, you can deny farm from Kate, or you can deny farm from Ashe, and you get plates. Yeah, Rift Herald's like 2.5 plates. So if you stay here and you push down 2 plates, it doesn't matter if they got Rift Herald. You got the same gold equivalency. And also you regained priority on the bot side of the map to where now losing a dragon for them in a fight at dragon could mean a bot tower in a first tower. It's like a big deal. Like, if they opt out of this winning matchup to go somewhere else on the map, it should be a trigger. Especially Kate Lux have all their sums too. It's not even like a threat. But see, this is where this gets bad, because they get the Rift Herald, and then Volibear gets to come back bot, give blue over to Kog'Maw, and now they have control over this side. And let's take a look at something, because look at blue side vision here. They got this ward, which is pretty good. Pixel Brush ward is always good. This pink is good. But compare that to this. Look at these wards. Like, they know every single place that Kayn is going. Like, Kayn doesn't have a good way of getting to any lane. Yeah, whoever coached this team did an exceptional job of teaching them how to ward. I'm just going to say it. That guy should get an award. But yeah, so like, it's so hard, it's so easy to play.
Is that a man riding a shrimp?
Don't pump. All right. So this is so hard to play from, because like, honestly, like if you're AED at this point, this game is so hard to win, right? The only way you win this game is you have to recognize the fact that Kog'Maw only has tier, and you have to force 5v5s now. Like, you need to start forcing them to play your game. Like, if you play to scale now, you're losing because you're playing into what they want to do. Like, you have to force fights. Because, like, if you're Ornn, you don't want to be isolated. You know, this is not fun. This shit is not fun. This shit sucks. If you're Orianna, this shit sucks, okay? Yeah, also, if you guys are aspiring players and you want some really good wards, this brush and this are really good wards. Because most people do not sweep these early in the game, and you can get a lot of pathing information. Because, like, that's the difference between solo queue and, like, competitive. Is, like, in solo queue, you ward this and you ward this, right? Because you just want to see the gank. That's all you care about. But in competitive, a ward like this or a ward here or here, and just knowing that the jungle's on that side of the map and you have priority, because all competitive League of Legends is a seesaw, okay? Wherever your jungler is, the seesaw tilts to you, okay? So, like, if you're in bot and the jungler's on your side of the map, then inversely, the other team's prio is top side and yours is bot side, right? That's just how the seesaw works, and your ward should reflect that, right? So if I see a jungler walking in here to clear his red, hey, that seesaw tips. And now I say, okay, bot, you don't push, you don't play to harass and trade and do things like that because their jungler's on that side of the map. But now top lane can play as aggressive as he wants. You know? And if I'm a jungler, I'm walking through here sweeping out. Oh, they don't know I'm ganking. But they know. They know you're there. You know, they know you're on that side of the map. They know the possibilities of where to go. This is really... All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What the hell just happened? Hold on. What the hell just happened? This is a really good roam. They push bot in, so they're a little bit later walking up. I feel like this shouldn't be possible, though, because, like, everybody here is very aware of what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Because you see bot lane rotating. They're like, oh, fuck, they're mid. But Orianna hasn't moved yet. That just feels like maybe some miscommunication there. Yeah, Not is so fast. There's no way they get there in time. And level 6 Not. This gank is happening. Oh, that shockwave. No. They just stay by. You're not going to stop this play. The ideal situation is like... Okay. Realistically, this play should go like this. Okay. So this is happening. The second this happens, okay? They leave. They're no longer in vision. What has to happen now is Ori has to respect that and play to this side. She has to play to this side of the lane. Because there's one of two things they're doing, right? They're either doing the dragon, which you're not in position to contest. You can't contest the dragon right now because your team has to be there first. You have to set up this dragon before they get there. Or two, they're going for a play on mid. But Ori plays to her weak side, okay? And Lux Kate can't stop this. You cannot stop this play. It's already too late. You're not going to get there in time. Right? She goes back. She doesn't walk all the way. See, like right here? Don't do this. Don't do this. Like, they're leaving. They are going for this play. There's nothing you can do about it. You should be staying here and trying to punish. Like, this should be your opportunity to say, hey, if Ori plays to the weak side of, to the strong side of her lane, if she plays here, away from the play, and they all roam mid, and they don't get anything, and you get to push in bot and get a plate, or even just damage it, or get prio to get a good back, whatever the case, it's so good for AED. But Ori plays up. But she doesn't have prio. Her jungler's here. She has no, like... You can't play, like, you can't play prio like this. Kate does start walking up and then walks back. She walks back to the wave. I think she realizes it's doomed. But like this, you can't play like this. And inversely, they know there's nobody waiting here. They have this free look. Like, she's just doomed now. There's... This is a great song. That's true, but I mean, You pushing this wave. Kane was right here, right? Kane was in this area. Theoretically, what should happen is they go for this push, and Kane shadows to make sure that they don't get bush camped. And even if you just bounce the wave to get a good base off, it's fine, right? It's fine. It's totally fine. We don't have to focus on the shockwave. But that's not good. Part of the reason... Oh, yeah. See, Kane tries to save the play. Yeah, the push camp could be really good. Kane tries to save the play. Never do this. The sunk cost fallacy. The play is over. Like, Ori is like 100%. The second the roam is here and you're not there yet, it's over. The second they showed on the screen and you're not there, it's over. The play is over. Lux trying her hardest here. Now, Lux is in a bad spot. This is just like from bad to worse. Because now, guess what else happens? Kate gets this wave in. There's absolutely no way she can do anything else. She's just base right now. She get out? Yeah, but she loses flash. And you lose drag. Now the dragons, it's theirs. Now, props to Ornn though, because Ornn did start aggressively trading and pushing this wave in like he should be doing. Because, you know, everything's going to shit on the bottom half of the map. That does sound nasty. There was something I was looking at that I wanted to look at a second again. Thanks everybody who's followed so far. You guys are awesome. Yeah, Aneon does a really good job of where they have pressure, rotating it into stuff in this game. But it's now the game is easy to play out, right? Because like, what do you do now as AED? You still got to force 5v5s first game gets out of control. You need to. Because like at this point, from now on, it's not going to get any better. I think, is this a solo kill? Yeah, that just sucks. It happens. It happens. This does not feel good, by the way. Untransformed Kane at like 12 minutes going for a duel on Moore does not feel good. That does not feel good. Yeah, it happens. That happens. You know. This feels so bad. And I know it's not even like... It just feels bad. It just feels really... He's at 37 health. And if you get this kill, it's so much different. Right? But now... The Kog'Maw TP, the Volibear... Realistically, right now, the game is over. Like, it's so hard now for your comp to get back in the game. Because mid is going to get outscaled. Ashe gets out of the lane, you know, unfazed. And your top lane now, because this feels so bad. I know as a top laner, like, nothing feels worse than dying, TPing back in, and then dying. Because now, like, he misses so much gold that otherwise he would have gotten on the map. And you know, if you're an Ornn player, like, you're not getting this late game farm when you have Ori and Kate. Like, you're not getting resources. So yeah, this feels really bad.